We just got our second new character introduced to Deadlock, and the vote that actually won this time was Graves. In this video, let's go over some of her abilities and what I think some of the best gun items are going to be on her, as I do think she is going to be a very strong gun hero. Her kit and her abilities evolve around a lot of spirit, but her gun can actually be very strong if built into. Her primary fire is an auto-locking beam, which means you really can't miss, and that is important when thinking about what items to buy for her. The one downside of her gun is that it doesn't have a lot of range. No matter what items you buy, you cannot increase the weapon range. Even if you buy long range or greater expansion, you're stuck at about 18 meters for the total range of her gun. Let's quickly go over all of her abilities. Her first ability is called Jar of Dead. Passive, collect death when anything dies nearby and store it in your Jar of Dead. Throw a jar to summon deadheads that repeatedly deal spirit damage to enemies. Deadheads follow you instead if there's no nearby enemies, and prioritize the target of your weapon. This ability can actually do a lot of damage if the enemies don't stop the deadheads from attacking them. They are really easy to break though. Just a melee will break the skulls, or even shooting them from afar will also break the skulls. One interesting thing you can do with this ability though is if you throw the jar at your feet and you know there's an enemy nearby, if you run into a room with them and start shooting them, all the skulls following you will instantly attack them. Her second ability is called Grasping Hands. Unearth a line of grasping hands dealing spirit damage and applying Immobilize to enemies when they pass through. You can actually rotate this using Alt-Cast or middle mouse. This ability can be really good for enemies that are either chasing you or running away from you. And another cool thing is that the grasping hands actually stay active even if they hit one enemy first, so that you can immobilize separate enemies at different times. As long as the line's on the ground, it's capable of immobilizing enemies. Her third ability is pretty simple. It's called Essence Theft. Your weapon steals weapon damage and spirit resist over time, up to a maximum amount per target. This is as simple as the longer you shoot an enemy, the more damage you do and the less damage the enemy does. This ability also stacks when hitting multiple enemies while using an item like a Ricochet, or this also works with an item like Split Shot. Her fourth ability is called Burrowed Decree. Create a gravestone at a target location that summons ghouls over time. Enemies can destroy the gravestone with 2 heavy melees. Ghouls shamble towards the enemy base, dealing melee damage. They explode when they approach a hero or an objective, dealing spirit damage in an area and applying a brief slow. You can use this ultimate ability to either push lanes, and they will actually push the walkers or push the guardians or push the base if you're far enough into the game. You can also use this offensively against enemies because the ghouls will hunt enemies if the enemies are nearby. Now I wanted to showcase a few gun items that I think are really good on this character, the first being Restorative Shot and the second one being Mystic Shot. These items are unique because they will go on cooldown on other characters if you miss the shot. But because this character can't miss, the item won't go on cooldown if the enemy's out of range. So you'll hit this every time on an enemy. So in lane, Restorative Shot's going to be really good for your sustain, and Mystic Shot is just free poke damage that you're going to hit on the enemy every time. The last gun item I wanted to touch on for Graves is the new item called Recharging Rush. Her one ability actually takes a really long time to build up charges, so by using Recharging Rush and just doing 200 damage to an enemy, you can build these charges up very quickly. The only problem is that the cooldown between the charges is quite long. So an item like Rapid Recharge might be really good to pair with something like this, to always have your Jar of Dead online. Let me know what you think of Graves so far, and let me know who you think is going to come out next Monday. Who have you been voting for? Let me know in the comments. I think Graves is going to be a really fun and strong gun hero when you really build into the orange. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any Deadlock news or updates in the future. And as always, I'll see you next time. Later.